Hare Krishna, everyone. Sorry, that recording went on iCloud, so I had to change that. So, okay, everyone, welcome. Yesterday we did chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, right? And what did we do in Bhakti Yoga yesterday? What was the most important point in Bhakti Yoga? It was that we have to have a lot of devotion. Krishna says that those who follow the path of devotional service and they completely engage themselves with faith. That is very important point, with faith, and they make me the supreme goal. They are very dear to Krishna, right? Ye tu dharmyamritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddhadhana matparamaha bhaktasteti me priyaha. That was the end shloka of 20th shloka of chapter 12. So we learned that bhakti is the best, and the worshipper of impersonal feature, we saw Brahman feature. We saw that devotees are perfect, and Krishna personally comes and to save the devotees or help the devotees. Then next we saw that there was progressive stages of devotion. There is Ananya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. If nothing, do something for me, he says. He gives so many choices and options to us. The qualities that endear Krishna is attitude towards oneself, how we deal with other living entities, how we react when something happens to us or things happen to us, and how we dealings with the Lord. This is what we did. Today is chapter 13. We have reached chapter 13 now. 13 chapters are done. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Now what is this? Nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. So in this chapter, Lord Krishna talks about two terms: Kshetra, the field, and Kshetrajna, the knower of the field. Right? In simple terms, the field may be considered as a body. Okay? Kshetra is body. Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is the knower of the field, knower of the body. So what is the main topic? Main topic is Kshetra, Kshetrajna. It's the discrimination between Kshetram and Kshetrajna. Kshetram is body, field. Kshetrajna is knower of the field. Kshetra, in Hindi, Kshetra means field, right? So Krishna has told Kshetra means body, this body, and Kshetrajna is one who knows the body. That is why this chapter is called Kshetra, Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So, like for example, if farmer is sows paddy in the field, okay, he sows paddy, right? What will he get? If he sows paddy, what will he get? He can harvest only paddy, right? Not wheat or maize or corn from that field. Whatever you will sow, you will get that, right? Similarly, whatever good or bad thoughts and actions that we sow in our field, this body, this in our field, we harvest that destiny, that resultant destiny. Whatever we are sowing in this field, that is what we are getting. That is why this is Kshetra. This body is a Kshetra. Whatever you are going to sow inside this, that is what you are going to get it. Now, if something bad happens, you start thinking, why bad is happening to me only? You have sown that, so you can't help it. You have to face it. So we will also see the process of liberation as described in verses. It will be described in, I think, Amanitvam Mitam Vitvam, shloka number 8 to 12. Then you can go to supreme destination. So how? How can we go to a supreme destination? You have to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, and he will help us to get out of this cycle of birth and death. And Arjuna, shloka 1, Arjuna asks 6 questions. And then Krishna starts, he tells in all the other shlokas the answer to what Arjuna asks. So let's see what he asks. Krishna is describing Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Jneyam, Prakriti, Purusha, and the union. And then we'll see the vision of knowledge. The question here is, if bhakti is the culmination or the end result, why is Jnana presented in the last 6 chapters? Any clue? If bhakti is the end result that every time Krishna is saying, then why Jnana has been given in the last 6 chapters? Okay, since nobody is writing, so I will give you the answer. In truth, entire Bhagavad Gita is bhakti. The first 6 chapters discuss how to achieve bhakti through work or karma. Okay, first 6 chapters. Then the last 6 chapters describe how to achieve it through knowledge. They are going to give us knowledge, last 6 chapters. And the middle 6 discuss bhakti itself, devotion itself. 12th chapter, yesterday we did, Krishna explained how he personally delivers his devotees from birth and death. He comes to save if we put in a lot of faith in devotion. So the last 6 chapters, they provide the philosophical knowledge necessary to free or disengage oneself from the material world. So last 6 chapters give us the knowledge. So that is why last 6 chapters are equally important. Jnana has its use in assisting our detachment from Maya and our attachment to Krishna. If we don't get this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, how are we going to detach ourselves from my material world? And how are we going to attach ourselves to Krishna? So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. And this, from chapter 13 to chapter 18, this is going to help us. Hence, when we use knowledge as means to attain devotion, it becomes part of bhakti. So we are going to use this knowledge, whatever knowledge we are going to get from today, to develop our devotion further, to deepen the devotion. So now let's see what all questions Arjuna is asking and what is the answer. He says, what is Prakriti? Its material nature. Who is Purusha? The enjoyer of Prakriti. Kshetra, the body, Sharir. Kshetrajna, the observer in the body, soul and the super soul, knower in all bodies, right? Super soul is the knower in all bodies, soul, individual. Jnanam, knowledge, understanding Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Jnanam means knowledge. And Jnayam means what is the goal of this knowledge? To attain Paramatma, to know Paramatma. Goal of the knowledge is Paramatma. So the material nature, what material nature has? It has 3 gunas, right? It has Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The Sanskrit word guna. Guna actually in Sanskrit, it means rope. So it has been loosely translated in English. Like, you know, as they are saying mode, but actual meaning of in Sanskrit means rope. So it is tying us with this rope, you know. Sattva-guna is like a golden rope. Rajoguna is like a silver rope. And Tamoguna is like an iron rope. But all are ropes only. All are going to tie us only here. So Sattva-guna means mode of goodness. Rajas-guna means mode of passion. And Tamoguna means mode of ignorance. So here, Purusha, Arjuna confirms that Purusha means he is the supreme enjoyer, right? The God. And sometimes Purusha has always been said that, okay, Purusha can be the enjoyer of Prakriti. In 10th chapter, Arjuna had said, right? Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adideva Majam Vibhum Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. He says, you are the supreme, you are the eternal, you are transcendental, you are original person, Purusham, and the unborn and the greatest, right? So Kshetra means body. This is very important for you to understand. So you must look here and pay attention, because every screen after this, you will be encountering these words. So you should actually know what it means. Kshetra means our body. Kshetrajna, the knower of the body, right? The observer inside the body, soul and super soul. Jnana means knowledge. Jnayam means what is the goal. So we will see the goal of knowledge. Arjuna uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajnameva cha etadveditumicchami jnanam jneyam cha keshava. Shri Bhagavan uvacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetramithyabhidhiyate etadyo vetitam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidah. Now Arjuna said, oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field, and the knower of the field, and of knowledge, and the end of knowledge. So the Blessed Lord said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and the one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Very simply, 6 questions he's asked, right? What is Prakriti, Purusha, field, knower of the field, knowledge, and the end of knowledge. He's asking 6 questions. So he was very inquisitive, curious to know about Prakriti. What is Prakriti? What is nature? Purusha, God, the enjoyer. Kshetra, what is that? Body. Kshetrajna, what's that? It's the knower, soul and super soul. Knowledge about what? To understand both body, soul, super soul. That's the knowledge we need to understand, right? We are not the body, we are the soul, and we have a super soul inside. And what is the object of knowledge? What is the goal? To know God, right? So when he inquired about all these, Krishna said, this body is called the field, and the one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. So Krishna begins explaining the topic, the distinction between the body and the spirit. Soul is divine. It can neither eat, it can neither see, smell, hear, taste, nor touch, right? It is called Kshetrajna, the knower of the field of the body. So soul is, it's not same. Soul is distinct from body, mind, and intellect. It is distinct away. That mechanism, right? But forgetful of its divine nature. It's actually spiritual in nature. It's divine in nature, but it forgets. Then what does it do? It identifies with the material nature, material entities, right? So because it has the knowledge of the body. That is why it is called Kshetrajna. It has the knowledge. The soul knows that it's the knower of the field of the body, right? This terminology has been given by self-realized sages, that Kshetrajna and all. So the body is like, a receptacle, a place, like a container where the activities or the actions of the individual is put and collected. This body, everything is going inside. Whatever is put inside will come out. So hence it's termed Kshetra. Whatever you will sow inside this body, that is what you will get it. So you have to be very careful as to what you are going to sow in the body. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I'm also the knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. The soul is the knower of the individual field of its own body, right? The individual soul. My soul will know my body. If Gunashri Mataji is there, so Gunashri Mataji's soul will know her body. Rajalakshmi Mataji, she is there. Alpa Mataji is there. Alpa Mataji's body will know her. Soul will know her body's activities, and so on, right? So soul knows, individual soul will know about that particular body, right? Only God is the knower of the field of all the souls. How? He has come and situated in form of supreme soul, super soul, in the heart of all living beings. That's how he's come. He's in everyone. So he knows about all the souls, but individual soul knows about only this body. So for further, God's knowledge of each kshetra or body is perfect and complete. He knows everything about it. He is the knower of all the fields, all the souls. He is situated at super soul in the hearts of all the living beings. So Lord Krishna, he establishes the position of 3 entities, right? In relation to each other. The body, the soul, and the super soul. What is it that we need to know? It is to understand the self, the supreme Lord, the body, the distinction between them. This is body, this is soul, this is super soul. We need to know, we need to get the true knowledge, and that is true knowledge. In this light, what happens? Persons with master's degree, PhD degrees, they are well educated, right? But if they do not understand the distinction between the body, soul, and God, and according to Krishna's definition, they are not knowledgeable, even though they may have PhD degree also. But if you do not have this knowledge about your own self, then all the knowledge is of waste. That's what Krishna feels. That is his opinion. Rishibhir bahudha geetam chando bir vividhai pratak Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Hetumadbhir Vinishchitaihi. That knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is specially presented as Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning to cause and effect. It is there, of course. Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the highest authority. Who can explain this knowledge, right? Better than Krishna himself. Yet, there are learned scholars and standard authorities. They have given the evidence from the Vedas, right, about this knowledge to us. Vedas, they are not just the names of some books. They are the eternal knowledge of God. And then there is Chandobir. Chandobir, it's written, right? Rishibhir Bahuda Gitam Chandobir Vividhai Pratak. So Chandobir, what is that? It refers to various Vedic literatures. Like, for example, there is Taittiriya Upanishad. It's a branch of Yajurveda. So what knowledge do we get from reading that? We come to understand about these material nature, the three gunas, Sataguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Then we come to know about Supreme Personality of Godhead. We come to know about soul, super soul. It is there written. So even rishis say that, yes, it is there. That's the evidence. Not only Krishna. Krishna anyway is the knower of everything. Mahabhutanyahankaraha buddhiravyaktameva cha indriyani dashaikam cha pancachendriya gocharaha ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghataschetanaadhritihi etat kshetram samasena savikaramudaghritam. The five great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interaction. So the 24 elements are there that constitutes the field of activities. This is number one is with what body is made up of. 5 elements, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether, space, whatever. Then we have 5 sense objects. We have taste, we have touch, we have smell, we have sight, and we have sound. Then there are 5 working senses. What are the working senses? We have voice, I'm talking, I'm moving my hand, legs, genitals, and anus. Then 5 knowledge senses: ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin. Other than all these 20, there are 4: mind, intellect, ego, false ego. We have mind, intellect, and ego. And modes of material nature, we have Prakriti also. So 4. So 20 plus 4, it is 24. So we have in the screen, you can all see 5 sense: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, intelligence, mind, soul, 5 working senses: voice, hand, legs, genital, anus. Then this 5 senses here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 4, 24 we have, right? So these are the senses, primordial senses. And Lord Krishna is using the word Dashaikam. Dashaikam. Indriyani Dashaikam cha Dashaikam. 10 plus 1. To indicate there are 11 senses as such. He includes mind also. 5, 5, and then he adds mind also in this. So he includes mind along with 5 knowledge senses and 5 working senses. So other than that, there is hatred, there is desire, happiness, distress. These are all interaction. Everything is interacting with this elements, right? Inside the body, with the soul, with all these are interacting. So the body is the representation of all these factors. So there are many changes which take place in the body, right? We are born, then we grow, then we produce byproducts, then body ages up, then it decays and dies. So the body is not permanent. We come to know that body is not permanent, right? It's non-permanent material thing. But Kshetrajna, the knower of the field, soul and super soul, is proprietor, is different. But we are so absorbed, so tied up in the modes of material nature, and we think we are enjoying, but the reality is something different. What is the reality? You can see the reality. Here, man is hanging over here in the tree. He is using the branch. There is a honeycomb on the top. Honeybees are there, and the drops of honey is dropping. There are rats on the tree. there, if he falls down, there are serpents there, which may, sting him and bite him, or they're already hissing over there. And the bees are all ready to sting him there, all around his body. There is a mad elephant who is trying to pull the trunk of the tree. And Krishna is trying to give his hand. But that man is so absorbed in this material world, so absorbed to taste that few drops of honey, that he is ready to bear the pain of holding on to the branch, ready to bear the pain of what rats might do to him, ready to bear the pain of what honeybees may do to him. And even if he falls down, he knows that he's going to fall down into that venomous snake pond. But he's still, he's so greedy to get those few drops of honey that he cannot even turn around and see that God is there next to him and he wants him with him. But no, he's so absorbed in this, and he thinks this is enjoyment. Krishna is extending his hand, but he's not ready. He wants to enjoy honey, even though there is so much danger all around. Same is our case. With all the dangers around us, we are still trapped in Maya. So chapter 9, Krishna said something, right? He said, Manmana mavabhat bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yukvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. He said, engage your mind thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisance to me. Worship me. Be completely absorbed in me. You will surely come to me. He's saying, come to me. No, we don't want to. Okay. This is all about knowledge and how to gain what kind of qualities we need. Amanitvam madam vitvam ahimsa kshanti rajavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam vinigraha indriya artheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam asaktirana vishwangaha puttadara grihadishu nityam cha samati chattatvam Ishtanishtopapatishu Maicha Ananya Yogena Bhaktiravya Bicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratirjana Samsadi Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tvajnana Artha Darshanam Etaj Jnanamiti Proktam Jnanam Yadato Nyatha. There are so many qualities that Krishna has told that we should have. And if he says, if we do not have all this, I declare to be, these all I declare to be knowledge. And besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Beginning from practicing humility to the point of realization of God, the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead. This process is just like a staircase, beginning from ground floor and going up to the top floor. These qualities you need to develop in order to reach to the top floor, right? But now on this staircase, there are so many people who have reached the first floor, then the second floor, then the third floor. But unless one reaches to the top floor, which is understanding of Krishna, he is still at the lower stage of knowledge then. If anyone wants to compete with God, and at the same time he wants to make advancement in spiritual knowledge, he will get frustrated. It is clearly stated that without humility, understanding is simply just not possible. We are always, being kicked around by the laws of material nature. We still think that I'm the controller. I have to take decision. I am God. I have everything under my control. Why? It's all because of ignorance. So the beginning of knowledge, therefore, is amanitvam, humility. We have to be humble. First quality is to be humble and know that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are lower and subordinate to Krishna. Since this is very, very important to understand in order to progress in spiritual path. So we need to see each and every word as to what it means. So humility, amanitvam, not to be anxious, to have satisfaction of being honored. Will anybody volunteer to read this? Gunashri Mataji, who is wanting to read?
Ma'am, I can read.
Okay.
Humility, Atman, Aman, ma'am, do I need to
you
read
read the
Sanskrit
Sanskrit word, just
okay.
read the English words otherwise.
Okay, ma'am. humility, not to be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored, pridelessness, understanding you are not the body, and thus honor and dishonor are the same.
Non-violence, just put non-violence.
Okay, yeah. Non-violence, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. Tolerance, be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. Simplicity, so straightforward that you can disclose the truth even to an enemy. Accepting a spiritual master, this is essential. Cleanliness, bathing, external, chanting, internal. Steadiness, determined to make progress in spiritual life. Self-control, reject anything unfavorable to spiritual advancement, control the senses. Renunciation of sense objects, not to cater to unnecessary demands, gratified only to keep body fit for survival. Absence of false ego, reject, I am this body or mind, accept that I am Krishna's servant. Perceptions of evil, regularly hear about these from the proper source, become disgusted with material life. Then it is detachment. Be ready to sacrifice everything for Krishna. No entanglement with wife, children, family, etc. Should practice it if you can do it in a Kesi way.
Krishna consciousness way.
Achha. In a Krishna consciousness way, but renounce if unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. Even-mindedness, not elated or distressed at material gain or loss by performing unbreakable devotional service. Unalloyed devotional service. Engaging oneself in the 9 processes of bhakti. Aspiring to live in a solitary place, not desiring to mix with materialistic people, live in the association of devotees.
So these are the qualities that we need to develop in order to be in Krishna consciousness. Thank you
Hare
so much,
Krishna.
Prerna Mataji. Hare
Hare.
Krishna. ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्न सदुच्यते. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. So what is Lord Krishna telling in this verse? He talks about Brahman aspect of supreme entity. It's like day and night are like 2 sides of the same coin, right? For one cannot exist without the other. We can only say it is day in some place if night too falls. If night is only not falling, you cannot say that day has come or night has come. It has to have. So we can only say it is day in some place if there is night also. Otherwise, then there is no day either. So Brahman in its formless or attribute, it's the object of worship for jnanis. They are looking for Brahman realization. In its personal form, Bhagavan, as Bhagwan, it is the object of worship for bhakts. So who is residing within us? Paramatma. So all these 3 manifestations, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan, all these are of same. It's the different expression of the same supreme reality. Krishna is the same supreme personality of Godhead, but he is having 3 different aspects, right? In 14th chapter also, Lord Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. He says, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. I am the basis, the first basis. From far off you are seeing headlights. That's the first thing, right? So I am the basis of formless Brahman, he's saying. So formless Brahman and personal form of God are 2 aspects of Krishna only, supreme entity only. That's what he explained in this verse. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrichaiva nirgunam gunabhoktrita. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached. Although he is the maintainer of all living beings, he transcends the modes of nature And at the same time, he is the master of all modes of material nature. Lord Krishna states that he is the sustainer of creation, right? He sustains the creation, but he is detached. So in his form as Lord Vishnu, God maintains the entire creation. He sits in the hearts of all living beings. He notes their karmas, what they have done. He will give the result according to the karma. He will see everything. He is able to see each and everything, past, present, future. He lives within the heart of the living being. So he knows what we have done in the past. He knows what we are doing now. He knows what is awaiting us in the future also, right? So we may not tell anyone, but he knows inside. He is noting down everything in his diary. So under Lord's Vishnu's territory, Brahma is there. He controls the laws of material science to ensure that the universe is functioning properly. You get up, you don't get up, sun is going to rise. Everything happens according. The nature is going on, doing its duty, functions, very disciplined. We may not be disciplined, but that is disciplined. So under Lord Vishnu's dominion, even heavenly gods, they arrange to provide the air, the earth, the water, the rain, everything that is necessary for survival, right? For our survival. So God is sustainer. He's sustaining us. Yet he is complete in himself and he's detached from everyone. He's sustaining us, but he's not attached to it. So Vedas mention him as Atmaram. Atmaram is somebody who enjoys in his own self and he doesn't need anything externally. So at the same time, he is also Nirguna. Asaktam sarva brichaiva nirgunam guna bhoktucha. Nirguna means beyond the three gunas. Nirguna. Guna means the sattva, rajas, and tamas. So he is beyond the three gunas. He is divine. He has the eternal form, Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. Lord Brahma in Brahma Samhita said, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. He is beyond these modes of material nature. He is Sat Chit Ananda. So these are some of the symptoms of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? He is the maintainer of all living entities and he is the witness also inside. So you have to be very careful from next time what you are thinking, saying, and doing. Baharintashta bhutanam acharam chara evacha sukshmatvat tada vigneyam durastham chantike chatat. Supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. So we think he's far, far away. No, he's near to all of us. We understand that Narayana, the Supreme Person, he is residing both outside and inside every living entity, right? He's inside as Paramatma also. So he's present in both spiritual world and in material world also. So that is why he said, even though he's far, far, durastham, even though you feel he's very dur, he's far, far away, yet he is very near to us in form of Paramatma. That is what this shloka is telling. So durastham chantike chatat. So even though you may think that he's very far, far away, he's still near to us. He is in form of Paramatma. So in Vedic language, it is said that we cannot understand him with our material mind and senses. But if you purify our mind, if you purify our senses, how? By practicing Krishna consciousness. How? By doing devotional service. We can see him. Constantly we can see Krishna. He will keep on guiding us. Right? It is confirmed in Brahma Samhita that devotees who has developed love for God can see him always without any interruption. You will keep seeing his mercy upon you, grace upon you whenever you need him. And it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita also that he can be understood only by devotional service. It's mentioned like we did in 11th chapter, right? Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya ahamevam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantap. He says bhaktya ananya means what? By undivided devotional service, I can be understood. So he is very clearly telling. So we have to, even though he's far away, he's very near to us. Jyotisha amapitat jyotihi at tamasaf paramuchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam vidhi sarvasya vishchitam. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. He is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. So clearly, who will say, Hridhi Sarvasya Vishtitam, Tat Jyotihi is the light. So super soul, supreme personality of Godhead, he is the source of light. In all the luminous objects that you see in this material world, the sun, the moon, the stars. In Vedic literature also we find that in spiritual kingdom, there is no need for sun, no need for moon or stars. It's always luminous. But why? Brahman, the effulgence, the headlights, it's already there. You don't need artificial lights for that. The headlight, the effulgence of Supreme Lord is there. You don't need anything else. So that confirms his supremacy, right, in different ways. There are so many illuminating objects here, like sun, moon, stars, fire, everything. If they are left alone without his mercy, they are powerless. They cannot, they don't have power to illuminate. Only God imparts the power to them. That's when they can illumine everything or anything. He's situated in everyone's heart as I told you, as super soul, supreme controller, and he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the super soul. He is the Prabhu. He is the master of all living entities. He is the ultimate shelter that we need to take. There is no denying the fact that supreme, super soul, and individual soul are always different. Individual soul will know about my body only. Super soul will know about everyone, other souls also. So every time we are doing the illumination, you can see that it is just the grace of God. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam jneyam choktam samasataha madbhakta etad vijnaya madbhavayopapadyate. That's the field of activities, the body, knowledge, knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. He has explained so much. How much more can he explain? Lord Krishna now wants to finish his talk about the description of the body, the field, and the object of knowledge. He says the fruit of knowing this topic. However, he says that it is fit to bring in devotion. And he says that bhaktas, the devotees, who will truly understand this knowledge, those who practice karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, without bhakti, cannot understand the importance of bhakti. You need to add devotion, whatever you are doing. Even though they themselves may think that they are doing something, but still, bhakti is the essential ingredient in all the paths that are leading to knowledge towards God. So whatever path you want to take, you may take. But if you don't add devotion to it, it won't work out. So what have we understood so far? There is no personality like God. There is no path equal to the path of devotion. There is no human equal to Guru, spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. And there is no scripture that can be compared with Bhagavad Gita. So it is giving you the full knowledge of everything. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadhi ubhavapi vikaram chagunam chaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. Who is the real enjoyer? Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and their modes of matter are products of material nature. We are totally tied up from the material nature. We know what is Maya, right? We know what is Prakriti. We know what is material nature, right? It's the energy of God. It has existed ever since he has existed. It's eternal. It is there, but it remains there. Then when God wants, he will put it to life. That will start working. The soul. Soul is also eternal. Here it is called Purusha, the living entity, while God himself is Param Purush, supreme living entity, right? So what is soul? It's an expansion of the energy of God, the spirit soul. We are just sparks from if God is compared to a fire, we are sparks, the soul. So what are the qualities of a soul or a jiva? It is beginningless. It has to struggle very hard for existence. Since it wants to enjoy, we want to enjoy the material nature, right? Through material nature, we want to enjoy. So it's struggling very hard to move away. So both living entities and the material nature, three modes of material nature, they have existed before this cosmos was manifested, right? So there is a transformation. We have 6 stages to this, which the body passes. Like I've always told you, we exist in the womb, then we take birth, then we grow, we procreate, we have kids, then slowly the body shrinks, and old age, and then disease, and then we die. And material nature creates what? 3 modes of nature: Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. And they have, this is just not, you cannot differentiate. This is Sattva guna, Rajoguna. I may have mixed countless varieties of combination. Rajas, Tamas together once, Sattva, Tama, Guna once. Like you have different combinations. Every time you are angry, every time you are happy or whatever. That is what is explained over here. So we must understand that who is the real enjoyer. Krishna is the real enjoyer. We should not be, it's like, the man hanging from the branch of the tree. Karya karana kartritve hetu prakriti ruchyate purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktritve hetu ruchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material activities and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. The Vedas say, they state that 8.4 million species of life is there in this material world. The soul gets a bodily form according to the past karmas. We may become anything. We don't know. It's upon the karma that we have done. Then it identifies itself with the body, mind, and intellect. It starts thinking it is that body only, and then starts enjoying the bodily pleasures, thinking that this is me. This is my body. I am the one who has to enjoy. That is the illusion it creates, right? So world is sustained by God, and there is so much of illusion around. Everything is unreal. So what happens? Ultimately, we are never happy. It gives misery to the soul, right? For example, if I cut my head in a dream, I'm dreaming, I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming. And if I cut my head in a dream, the pain and the misery, it will continue till I wake up and I stop dreaming. So it's like a dream state, of identifying with my body is also like a dream state. It keeps on having this misery till we stop dreaming. So the soul is also experiencing pleasure and pain because of the past and present karmas. So as a result, it is responsible for both kinds of experience, right? We are just responsible for our sadness. We are only responsible for our happiness. So we have to remain balanced, whatever may happen. So what is the solution for our problems? Very simple. Chant. Karmas will be nullified. People ask, what is the benefit of chanting? Nothing. You just, devotion will increase. Your karmas, at least your thinking, your thought process will change. Instead of thinking about different things, you are chanting. So you are saying something, you're thinking something, you're using your hand, karmas are getting nullified. Krishna is going to bestow his grace upon us. He will help us, right? If not, then he will have some other plan for us. So once we are placed in some particular kind of a body, we are under the control of Maya, material nature. So we have no power to change that law at least. But for example, if I am put into a body of a dog or a hog, if I'm in a dog, I will act like a dog. I cannot act any other way. And if I'm put in a body of a hog, I will be in the gutter only all the time, eating those dirty things in the gutter. So if I'm in the body of a devata, I will be acting like a devata, right? So I will be doing whatever. That's the law of nature that we cannot change. But in all these, the birth of dog, hog, or demigod, one person is with us. Who is that? Super soul. Whatever body I may take, super soul doesn't leave us. He is always with us. He's so kind. He's so merciful. He doesn't leave us. He is our best friend. Supreme Lord is very, very kind upon a living entity. He always accompanies the individual soul. Whether I am a dog, I am a hog, or I am a demigod. In all circumstances, he is present as super soul, the Paramatma. Purushas prakristho hi bhungte prakriti jan gunan karanam guna sangosya sadasadyoni janmasu. Living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the 3 modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil amongst various species. That's the problem. In previous verse, just now Krishna explained, right? Soul. He is responsible for pleasure and pain, right? When it comes with in touch with the material nature. Now he's explaining how. Our body is energized by soul, right? Otherwise, what will happen? body is lifeless. If the soul is not there, right? If the soul is not there, the body becomes lifeless. So when the soul is there, there is activity. We start doing some action. So since this whole thing is made up of Maya, we start getting influenced by the three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. We have ego. So due to ego, the soul starts identifying itself as the doer and the enjoyer also of the body. So the body, mind, intellect, they start performing all the activities and soul is held responsible for them. How? Let's take an example of a bus. If you have a bus has an accident, for example, the wheels and the steering wheel, they are not to be blamed for it. Who is answerable if there is an accident, bus accident? The driver. The driver is answerable for any mishap to the bus. Similarly, the senses, mind, intellect, they are energized by the soul and they work under its power, right? So naturally, who accumulates the karma? The soul is accumulating the karma for all the activities that is performed by the body. Body is performing the action, but somebody has to take that responsibility, like the bus driver. So the soul has to take up that whatever karmas is coming into him, it has to, it accumulates all the karmas. The full stockpile of karma is there, accumulated for innumerable past lives. Then that is how it causes repeated birth and death. Sometimes we go into a superior womb, like a demigod, sometimes inferior womb, a dog or a kitten or any other hog, anything, lower species. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyuktaha dehesmin purushah paraha. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as a super soul. Krishna has explained the status of individual soul within the body, right? Now in this verse, he is telling this position of the Paramatma, who also resides within the body. The supreme soul or Paramatma, it is located in everyone. It is in the heart, right? And it's the Narayan Roop, the personal form of Lord Vishnu. Supreme Lord in his form as Vishnu is responsible for maintaining this creation. Where does he reside? He resides actually in Kshir Sagar, the ocean of milk, Kshir, at the top of the universe in his personal form, right? He then expands himself to reside in the hearts of every living entity, and is called Paramatma. Then inside, he is sitting inside. He, as I told you before, he is noting down all our actions, all our karmas. He is bestowing the results at the proper time. Whatever time is appropriate, that result you will find. Sometimes you may have whatever karma you have done now, you may face the next minute. Or sometimes what happens, that karma you may face in the next life also. Depends. So he accompanies the individual soul in whatever body it will receive in each lifetime. It does not hesitate at all in residing in the body of a snake or an insect or a cockroach or a bird. It will just, it's like two birds in this picture as I put it here. There are two birds seated in the nest, right? Heart of the tree, right? This one is the super soul and this is the individual soul. Individual soul is busy eating the fruit. It is wanting, it's not even turning around to see. So the supreme soul, the super soul is just waiting and watching, observing very quietly what is happening, right? And the Jivatma or the soul is so busy enjoying the fruits of the tree, the results of the karma it receives while residing in the body. So when the sweet fruit comes, it becomes happy. And when the bitter fruit comes, it becomes sad. Paramatma is the friend of Jivatma, sitting right next to it. But he does not bother. The Jivatma, the soul is not even bothered to look back. And the super soul, it's sitting very quietly. It does not interfere. It will not interfere. Simply sit and watch. And if only if Jivatma could turn around towards Paramatma, all the miseries will come to an end. Just turning around. It's so near, yet so far, he said. So Jivatma has been bestowed with free will. The individual soul has got free will. It can do whatever it wants to. So it has the freedom to turn away or turn towards God. but the improper use of that free will by the soul. That is why we are in this misery, in this bondage. And by learning how its proper usage, we can become the eternal servant of the God and experience the bliss. The moment you will turn around and start looking at the super soul inside, there will be some kind of a bliss and there will be grace of God. What are the qualities of super soul? Super soul is transcendental. It's the enjoyer. He is the proprietor. He is the witness also. He is witnessing everything. And he's the permitter. He will permit you everything if you just turn around and ask him once. So, but we don't. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunai saha sarvatha vartamanopi nasabhuyo bhijayate. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity and the interaction of modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth again, regardless of his present position. Three entities, right? Ever-changing material nature. They are unchangeable souls, master of both, supreme soul, the Paramatma. We know about all three now. Ignorance of the living, these entities, is the cause of bondage. We all know that. What is the knowledge? Knowledge is when we get this knowledge that this is not our body, this is the soul, we have to turn around, look at the super soul. Once we get this knowledge, what will it happen? It will help us cut the fetters, the shackles of Maya. That's when we will, the knowledge that God, Lord Krishna is talking about is not just bookish knowledge, it's wisdom. That is why Jnana Chakshusha. So realization of this knowledge is achieved. First, we acquire the theoretical knowledge of these three entities from the Guru, right? We come to understand. Then from the scriptures. Then we engage, we start practicing, we apply in spiritual practice, right? So even the material nature, it is beginningless, it is temporary, it keeps transforming. So we have to understand that we have to get away from all this. Dhyane natmani pashyanti kechidatmanam atmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. Super soul is perceived by some through meditations, by some cultivation of knowledge, and by others through working without fruitive desire. God's creation, if you see carefully, it's full of variety. No two leaves of the tree are same. No two human beings have exactly the same fingerprints. No two human societies you will find have same features. Each soul is unique. All the souls are unique. They have different traits, distinctive traits. They have acquired in their own unique journey that they have through cycle of life and birth, lifeless, so many lifetimes. So in this journey of spiritual practice as well, not all are attracted to the same kind of practice, right? You may like some other practice, you may like this yoga or that yoga, whatever. But Krishna says, he's explaining that some sadhakas or the aspirants, they like to attain God through meditation. They want to control their senses. Some want to do through jnana. Some want to find great joy in doing karma for the happiness of God. So what are the qualities? Like he's saying, you can find anything, but ultimately you need to have bhakti. Anye tvevamajanantaha shrutva nebhya upasate tepi cha atitarantyeva mrityushruti parayanaha. Again, there are those who, not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship Supreme Person upon hearing him from others. Because their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth in them. Srimad Bhagavatam, King Parikshit, he asked Shukdev the question, how can we purify our undesirable entities in our hearts, such as lust, anger, greed, envy, hatred? How can we purify that? Shukdev Maharaj said, simply hear the descriptions, names, forms, pastimes of the Lord from a saint. You will find, you will cleanse, it will naturally cleanse the heart from unwanted dirt or from which we have from endless lifetimes. So that is very, very important. So enthusiasm for devotion, that is what we require now. The devotee, that is when the devotee will cut through the whatever obstacles we have in the path of our sadhana, what we do, right? So what is the foundation of devotion? We need to have enthusiasm. We need to have faith in the heart. That's the foundation stone on which this palace of devotion is it's standing, right? So I think the lesson we are learning right here is, let us live in the same life now. In the same life, let us live. We will just change our boss. We'll make Krishna our boss. and then we'll see wonders. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetraga sanyoga tadviddhi bharatarshava. O chief of Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both moving and non-moving, is only the combination of the field of activities and knower of the field. In this verse, it is stated but both material nature, the five elements plus three, earth, water, air, all that, and intelligence, self, sense, ego, all, and the soul. We have been existing from before on, right? Since the start of the creation, the soul has been there. So whatever is created is the combination of the soul, the living entity, and material nature. That is the combination. And then we do all this over here, and then we die, and then again this karma manifests again, and we have to move on. So there are many, many manifestations, Krishna says, like trees, mountains, hills, they are not moving. And there are many existences which are moving. So without the touch of the superior nature, the soul, the living entity cannot grow. That's what Krishna says. So how to acquire that knowledge, the wisdom, the jnana chakshu, and what is the destination? Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsva vinashyantam yah pashyati sa pashyati. One who sees super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies and understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees. Now comes the jnana chakshu. Anyone who by good association can see the three things combined together: body, proprietor of the body, individual soul, and the friend of the individual soul, the super soul. So he's actually in knowledge. The moment we get this knowledge, we start opening our eyes, jnana chakshu. And those who cannot see, they are ignorant. They will simply see the body as the body. And they will think that when the body is destroyed, everything is done. It's not so. After the destruction of the body, the soul and the super soul both exist. That is why we say, even if the body has gone, he is still there. The body has gone. Now he will be going, the Atma, the soul will go into another body according to his karma. So we need not be sad when somebody passes away. That's what Krishna is explaining here. And they go on eternally in various moving and non-moving forms. Sometimes we become a tree also. So how to get this jnana chakshu, the eye to see eye, is by gaining knowledge about what this body is all about, difference between body and soul, equal vision when we see the super soul present in all living entities and control over our mind and senses. Krishna is going to explain how devotees' life changes, as soon as we realize the presence of God in everyone. Samam pashyanhi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram nahi nastyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. One who sees super soul equally present everywhere, in every living being, does not degrade himself by his mind, as he approaches the transcendental destination. That is very important. We should learn to see God, Supreme Soul, in everyone, and then start to live having this knowledge. Every moment you should have that knowledge. Then you won't want to have any personal gain or enjoyment from others. Stop having expectations. You will neither get very much attached to anyone for others, for the good you may have done, or they may have done some good to you. You will neither hate them nor harm them. You will not hate them for any harm they have done to you also. So you will start seeing everyone as part of God. Then you will have that healthy attitude of respect. Start service towards others. Then what will happen then? It will elevate your mind by seeing God in every human being. And then what will happen? You will finally reach the supreme goal. That is how you have to acquire the jnana chakshu. That is how you have to acquire the knowledge. Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashah yah pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that self does nothing, actually sees. This is the ego of being the body, the pride of being the doer. I tell you, these two, they trap the soul in this cycle of life and birth. In material consciousness, what happens? Ego identifies with the body, right? And we start thinking, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But the moment we get this knowledge, the soul gets enlightened, right? The moment we get enlightened, the enlightened soul will think differently. While eating, drinking, talking, walking, whatever we are doing, we know it is the body that is acting. Still, it will not shrug the responsibility of actions performed by the body. Just as the president is responsible for the decision of Russian president took the decision of getting the country towards to go to the war, right, with Ukraine. But he did not go to fight in it himself, right? He was away, but he took the decision. Similarly, the soul is responsible for the actions of the living entity, even though they are performed by the body, mind, and intellect. The soul is responsible. President is responsible, but he himself doesn't go to fight. So we must have control over mind and senses. How? Easy way is to engage in the service of God. Just attach yourself to Krishna. Only if necessary, right? That's when you have to take such difficult decisions like, oh, sometimes it unnecessarily we take such decisions. Oh, I don't want to do devotional service, or we must start disengaging ourselves from this material world and engaging ourselves towards the lotus feet of Krishna. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatravastito dehe tathatma nopalipyate. Sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anyone, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. Is there. Soul is there. Soul experiences sleep. It experiences wakefulness, tiredness, and everything, even if you are fresh. Due to the ego that makes it identify with the body, the soul starts identifying with the body, right? It thinks, yes. So one may ask, why the changes in the body in which it resides, it does not taint the soul? Why? There's so many changes in the body, right? It's like saying the air. The air, once it goes in water, the air, same air is going in us, same air goes in the mud, the same air is going in even in the stools that we pass, right? Whatever else is there. So, but it still does not mix with anything. Similarly, the soul, the living entity, even though it is situated in variety of bodies, it is aloof from them due to its subtle nature. So it is impossible for us to see with our material eyes how soul is in contact with the body, how soul is going inside this body, and how it gets out when the body dies. Very difficult to imagine, but it is so. That's the knowledge Krishna is giving. Yatha prakashayati kaha kritsnam lokamimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha kritsnam prakashayati bharata. O son of Bharata, as sun alone illumines all the universe, so does the living entity. One within the body illuminates the entire body by consciousness. It's a very good example that Krishna is giving. Like, sun is situated in one place, but it's illuminating the entire universe. The small particle of spirit soul is inside. It is situated in the heart of the body. It is illuminating the whole body by consciousness. If the consciousness is gone, consciousness is the proof that the soul is present. As the sunlight is the proof that sun is there. If the sunlight is not there, what is the proof sun is there, right? So the consciousness that we have is the presence of the soul. Once it's gone, the body is dead. So this can be easily understood by any intelligent person, right? But the super soul, it is present in all the bodies as the friend of the individual soul. It is conscious of all bodies, right? We have super soul, we have soul, and we have body, right? The soul starts desiring. Super soul, soul, and body. So the soul starts desiring when it comes in contact with the material nature. Once it comes in the contact with material nature, it starts getting, karma. It is creating karma. What is the result? It gets shackled in the laws of karma. So again, it has to take up a body, and then the cycle continues. Kshetra kshetrajnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha te viduryanti te ye viduryanti te param. Those who see with the eyes of knowledge the difference between body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain the supreme goal. Usual style, Lord Krishna is winding up the topic now. He says the field and about the field and the knower of the field. By summing up, he says that what is the true knowledge? True knowledge is to understand the distinction between the kshetra, the body, and Kshetrajna, the knower of the body. So you have to understand the distinction. Don't think that I am the body. So they identify themselves, that they are part of the body. But we have to understand that we are souls and we are tiny part of God. So we need to seek the spiritual elevation, and we have to get away from this material nature. And by going on spiritual path or spiritual enlightenment, we will attain some wisdom, and we should understand the ultimate goal is God realization, right? So positive engagement, easier and simpler, and definitely better from this artificial control of this nature. So we can positively engage ourselves in this lotus feet of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we are ended chapter 13, and it were intelligent questions. Arjuna is posing 6 questions. Body, soul, super soul equation. Krishna is telling about that. Then he asked the knowledge, how to gain this knowledge. Most important quality is what? Constant and unalloyed devotion. Whatever path you may take, but you have to have that devotion. Essential quality is what? Accepting a bona fide spiritual master, right? And then other important qualities is like amanitvam, madambitvam, humility, non-violence, self-control, detachment, right? And then we have soul and super soul. What is the attribute of soul? It is eternal, right? And it is subordinate to Krishna. And then it is in spiritual world. Then attributes of super soul, it is all pervading, origin of senses, undivided. Then it is in the heart of everyone. Then we know about super soul, soul. Then we came to who is the enjoyer, qualities of super soul, qualities of soul, qualities of material nature, how to reach perfection. And we had Jnana Chakshu, wisdom, how to acquire Jnana Chakshu, how to get that wisdom, that the I to know I, to know I. And what is the destination? That's what we understood. And the summary is Arjuna asks question, then description of Kshetra and Kshetrajna and Jnana, process of acquiring knowledge, Jnayam, object of knowledge, Prakriti, Purusha, and union, vision of knowledge. So tomorrow we'll learn about the 3 modes of material nature. Tomorrow is about modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and how it influences our soul. So that is what we'll be learning tomorrow. So Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone.